as instructors, this is a pretty common sight that we'll see early on when people start Chi Sao. Somebody will be leaning backwards. And how do we solve this problem? We come up and say, don't lean back, mate, don't lean back, and we push them forwards. We go away, look after somebody else. Sure enough, student starts leaning backwards again. So we come and say, don't lean back, mate, don't be back, lean forwards. We're really not addressing the problem. The problem here isn't that James is leaning backwards. The problem is that he's lost his good alignment. He's leaning backwards because his nervous system doesn't want his head to be any further in. So what we should do is say, bring your body back and get your alignments underneath your head where you're comfortable. We really need to find where is our comfort zone. You'll be a lot more relaxed, you'll be able to find space to do everything. In time, you'll be able to make this gap smaller if you want it to be smaller, make it larger. But I think this is critical that we start to find out where our body wants to do the work. We must never forget that training is a social exercise and is governed by social dynamics. And like in the video with Seinfeld, with the close talker, our nervous system makes choices. We don't want to be close to people, especially strangers, and especially if it's an aggressive stranger, we want to make big spaces. When people in training start to get closer and closer, we tend to think they're improving, when in fact, it could be that they're just getting more comfortable because it's a nice social environment. He's known Sam for 5 years. He knows Sam isn't going to smack him. There's no fear, no anxiety. And we would do well to keep our eye on the prize here, because as soon as you go out into an asocial situation with somebody who you don't know, being aggressive, meaning you harm, then your body's going to respond by trying to make space for you. There's other things we can look at here in Chi Sao, again, to see how our body likes to respond. And this is what I like to talk about as being our fighting personalities, or the fighting attributes of our body. We'll have all seen it. There'll be some people, when they're rolling, they're always trying to walk through their partner, no matter what's going on. So if you just walk, he's always walking through, always trying to push him, never standing still. You'll have other people, they decide they're always holding their ground, no matter what their partner does, and they'll end up losing their shape and everything because they're determined to hold their ground. And then, of course, we have the people who, as soon as you put the slightest pressure on them, they're moving away from you all the time, never actually staying in the one place. And this is important because this is what their nervous system is telling them to do. This is what will happen out in the street. So if we have a look at the implications of this to our training and our techniques, I'll just pinch James. Cheers, Sam. I'll get James to pose a kind of half hook, half cross. So from here, if I'm the stepping in guy, yeah, fine, I've got access to all of my tools, boom, yeah, we can see, that's lovely. And this is why most martial arts try to get people to be here. If I'm the guy who wants to stand his ground, well, right here, I've got very limited straight off the bat responses. So I need to be aware that I have to be affecting my partner to some degree. I can't just expect to do like a Dai Sao punch. And if I'm the guy who wants to step back, well, from here, I've got absolutely nothing straight off the bat. So I need to be aware that I need to manipulate him even more. And if we're not paying attention to this, not discovering what type of attribute we've got, if we think it's all this, when you go outside and you're in trouble, and you're doing this, how can I step in if my body wants to step back? So we'll be creating hesitation, creating confusion. My training's saying bump, but my body's going here. It's not a very good scene, is it? So we've got to be really quite aware of trying to find out where we are. So we see if James is now being a bit more dynamic, he's going to step to try and hit me. This is like our default, the stand and deliver, just redirect him and hit. Cheers, mate. And I think this is really very, very important aspect of what we do. Chinese boxing tends to do everything from an idealized position, and they hope that you have the sense to realize it's not going to be like this out in the world. Whereas Western boxing, very early on in your training, they'll be trying to find out whether you want to be like Mike Tyson, you're going to be coming down, trying to press the guy, whether you want to be like Evander Holyfield and stand and deliver, or whether you want to be like Muhammad Ali and be bouncing back and hitting him. We need to try and bring a bit of this into our training, or we'll just get confused. But of course, you need to have good shape, good feeling, good crazy horse. What kind of day is it for you?